All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for those of you that got me GED numbers. Some of you, even that didn't, I found you in there and have put any GED accounts that exist. You all have, whether they were sitting in there before or added from me, you all have an RLA test, a social studies test, and a science test. Unless you've passed any of those, then you don't have that one. Practice tests sitting in your account, ready to take. Those do not become assignments until next week because I just want to make sure and follow up with the people that I don't have accounts for, including you, Caden. I don't have any GED account yet.
I know we should be logged into it before we can.
Okay. Well, after class, if you can wait that long, we can go in a computer room too and look it up. Okay. Anybody else? Amalfi, do I have yours? Let me see.
I sent
You
mine.
have mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I know I have yours. I know I have yours, Michael, and I made sure that you have all those tests in your account. Amalfi, I've got to double check. Got to double check on you that you have everything you need in there. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. And if anybody has difficulty accessing a computer, you know, we can do the tests here after class. If you want to do that, there's a room that we can just, there's only like 5 computers in it, but I can stay and do that with you if people do not have a quiet, uninterrupted space that they want to take a practice test in. Please let me know and we'll work that out. All right, how is everybody? What's going on? You went to Seaside this morning? Oh yeah, you got some sun. Yeah.
Kind of like they don't make well, wouldn't be positive.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. It's good to get to the coast. Very nice. Anybody else? Got something they want to share from their weekend or? You went crabbing? Really? Oh, that's fun. Oh, do you rent the stuff there? Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
$17 strap. We need like 2 or 3 at most, but
Yeah.
we get there pretty early, like 6, 7 in the morning to go.
How many crabs did you catch?
5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
Most of the time we won't get like 12.
Wow.
I'm thinking.
Uh,
But kind of,
that's fun.
it's just, yeah, it's just pulling traps off the dock.
You're just at a dock. Yeah, that's easy to do it. You don't need a boat. That's nice.
Yeah, I usually like your shellfish license, it's only like $10 or whatever.
Oh, is that different than a regular fishing license
Shellfish.
for all shellfish? Oh, cool. That's cool. Yeah, I know at Astoria, when we were there for that field trip last term, people were doing a lot of clams. There's like a special clam shovel. Where, have you ever seen that before? It's like the circular one that they stick in the, that's nice. Yeah, love it. All right. Well, tonight, it's not going to be a particularly long class tonight. It's one of the kind of shorter ones, but it is an extremely important topic. I see this question across tests so very much. And if you are not familiar with the term, it is very difficult to get it correct. So the term that I am talking about is infer or inference. So this week we're going to talk about making inferences from the things that we read, which is very similar to drawing conclusions. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And then in the next class, we're talking about cause and effect, also really big on the social studies exam, but big in the RLA exam also. It's just how all of the things that come together to help us make sure we really understand what we see and what's going on in our readings. So today we are going to just explore and think about what are inferences and conclusions. We're going to do a lot of practice in here, drawing conclusions from the things that we see. And we're going to determine what statements can be inferred from reading passages. So anybody have an idea what infer means?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like what it's giving you.
Yeah, no, that's really well said. Yes, it's the things that we're assuming. So a lot of times things are not stated directly in the paragraph that we read or in whatever we're reading. It's just not obvious. But you are supposed to kind of put together the pieces like a detective and figure it out. So this is something you are automatically doing all the time. It's really easy to see in when we're watching TV shows, trying to figure out, are they related? Are they in a relationship? It didn't say that, but based on the behavior I saw, I'm going to draw this conclusion. It's not stated directly. We have to use our own experience to figure out what it's going to mean. So we're always looking for something, if we're looking for an inference that hasn't been stated directly. And one of the tricks that you will find in GED questions is sometimes when they ask you, what can you infer from this? One of the choices will be something that was stated exactly directly. That's what we want to avoid. That is not an inference. That is just something that we can see, observe, restate. Okay. So an inference definitely has to be something that we can't ever be sure completely about. It's just based on our life experience and best guess. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at their explanation of inference.
The conclusion reached on the basis of evidence. First, we'll talk about how.
I'm going to pause this and make it a little louder. Back it back up. Okay.
Inferences in reading and writing. An inference is a conclusion reached on the basis of evidence and reasoning. First, we'll talk about how this can help improve your reading skills. Then we'll talk about how you can apply it to your own writing. If you're making an inference while reading, you're making a guess about what you don't know based on the information available. Basically, you're reading between the lines. You can use your prior knowledge and textual information to draw conclusions, make critical judgments, and form interpretations of the text. Inferences can occur in the form of conclusions, predictions, or new ideas. The easiest way to show this is with an example. Let's say I arrived at school, but couldn't find my lesson plan. I knew I was reading it over breakfast, so I make the assumption that I left it on the kitchen table. This is an inference. I don't know for sure where I left it, but I'm making an inference based on the fact that I know I was working on it at home. You make inferences every day. Maybe you're able to finish your friend's sentence because of the information we've already given you. Maybe you predict the ending of a movie before it comes. Maybe you can tell what singer is on the radio based on the sound of their voice and the topic of their song. All of these are things you've discovered based on surrounding facts, not actual knowledge. All of these are inferences. Reading is an active, reflective, problem-solving process. You don't just want to read words, you also want to understand the deeper ideas the author is trying to communicate. When you're reading, it's helpful to look for patterns or relationships in the text that might shed greater light on something. Let's look at Harper Lee's classic To Kill a Mockingbird for an example of this. Remember, it's a sin to kill a mockingbird. That was the only time I ever heard Agatha say it was a sin to do something, and I asked Miss Molly about it. "I was right," she said. "Mockingbirds don't do one thing but make music for us to enjoy. That's why it's a sin to kill a mockingbird." This inference helps us draw a connection between the mockingbird and Boo Radley. The mockingbird is innocent and does nothing but make music. This is a symbol for the innocence of Boo and highlights the thematic part of the novel. Those who have the power must protect the vulnerable. It's a beautiful inference, but you'll note it is never stated directly in the novel. It's a gem left to be discovered by the reader. Inferences can help with smaller practical reading comprehension problems too. Sometimes, if you don't understand what a word means, you can infer its meaning from what's around it in the sentence. Take, for example, the following sentence. She was gregarious, found always at one party or another, around town, surrounded by laughing people. Her door was always open. Even if you didn't have a dictionary to tell you that gregarious means a person who enjoys social gatherings and is fond of company, you could glean as much from the description of the subject as someone who liked parties and whose door was always open. Now, let's talk about how you can work inferences. Try this. Practice writing a paragraph describing something you're familiar with. Your cat, movie, pineapple pizza, without explicitly stating what it is. Then see if your friend can figure out what you're talking about without being told. If they can, they are making an inference. You'll probably note that your writing is much more creative and engaging than it would have been if you simply stated what it was you were talking about. You have to work hard to describe the things you're familiar with in new words and phrases, and that makes your writing more interesting. Take a look at this example. Half a dozen students huddled at the end of the street. It was 7 a.m., just moments before the bus was supposed to arrive, and the street lights spilled around them in a pool of light. They shuffled back and forth to keep warm, rubbing their hands together and stamping their feet against the frozen pavement. If I were to ask you what season is described in this piece of writing, you'd probably say winter right away. We talked about cold temperatures and frozen pavement, plus it's still dark at 7 in the morning, which is distinctly a winter characteristic. You can see how writing for inference in this case was more imaginative and effective than simply saying, students waited in the cold winter for the bus. To sum up, understanding inference can enrich your reading by helping you read between the lines for the author's intent. It can also enrich your writing by helping you paint vivid pictures without stating facts directly. I hope this video has inspired you to use inferences in your own writing. Thanks for watching this review on inferences. We hope you feel proud and empowered.
Okay. Can you think of times when you have read something or seen it in a TV show or movie where you thought, I just don't have all the information yet. I hope it's coming. I don't really understand what's going on. Have you had that happen in reading or watching something? Do you eventually get to a point where you have figured out what's going on, or are there some things that you're like, I still don't get it, I'm giving up on this? Yeah, have you given up on some things too? How about, have you read something kind of like what she was describing at the video, where they just come out and say, it was a cold winter waiting for kids at the bus, and you're like, oh, please, I've kind of got it. Or people are having dialogue that you're like, nobody would say that in real life. You're just trying to explain something to us. Have you had that happen? What she's talking about, making it more interesting, and you definitely notice it more in TV and movies than you do when you read, is that if someone's over explaining things that they wouldn't normally say straight up in real life, we become really tired and frustrated with that. It makes it seem like the audience is dumb. So we don't tend to enjoy those things. What we do enjoy, what the audience tends to enjoy, are things where you have to draw inferences. You feel more engaged. You feel like you're a part of the story when you are kind of puzzling it out as you go. So that's always true when you're writing. If you want to keep people engaged, like, you shouldn't have to say everything exactly. You should be pointing people in a direction. Make sense? Okay, let's take another look at inference. Okay, so inference really is all about searching for clues. We are going to be just trying to put some pieces together while we look for the clues. Another phrase that is often used is read between the lines. That means that the writers are going to tell you more than they are saying directly. So you are given clues that help you pull out more information than the words actually say. And they will use this word in the questions that you're asked. What can you infer? What are you inferring from this passage? When you want to infer, you need to go beyond those surface details, pull in different parts of the reading, could be from different paragraphs, different things that you know from your own life to help draw those conclusions. Yeah, and they can only, sometimes it's only hinted at and not very clear at all. So if you infer something that has happened, you do not see, hear, feel, smell, or taste that actual event, but from what you know, it makes sense that a thing happened. And you're making inferences every day, all day. If you went outside right here to this bus mall and you saw some people running, and then just stop and like look really, oh, I'm so frustrated. Oh, you might infer that they just missed their bus, that it took off, right? You don't have that information. All you saw was people running. But the fact that they ran up to that station and stopped there suggests that they're not running away from anything. They were running to something that didn't happen. That's just an example of the kinds of inferences that you're making. Okay, let's look at this one. Suppose you're sitting in your car, stopped at a red signal light. You hear screeching tires, then a loud crash and breaking glass. You see nothing, but you infer that there's been a car accident. We all know the sounds of screeching tires and a crash. We all know that these sounds almost always mean a car accident, but there could be some other reason and therefore another explanation. Yes. Perhaps it was not an accident involving two moving vehicles. Maybe an angry driver rammed at a parked car, or maybe someone played the sound effect of a car crashing from a recording. We don't know for sure. Anytime we make an inference, we don't know for sure. But we are making the most likely explanation based on our life experience. This is very similar to drawing conclusions. You're sometimes asked to draw conclusions. So conclusions, it's very, very similar. Often when we are drawing conclusions, we are summarizing something more significant than just a little inference. It might be kind of a bigger piece that we're putting together. So conclusions are a little bit more similar to the main idea. If you draw a conclusion, it might be more about the whole reading rather than a piece or a paragraph. Okay. And it's taking it kind of to the next step, almost like, and based on what you know now, what would happen next? That's where drawing conclusion really kind of separates itself from infer. Any questions about that? Okay. Let's practice. So for this activity, I'm going to open up images and I want you to talk about what you see. And then later we're going to talk about what you can infer to just help us distinguish, because a lot of times we start describing things that we are inferring or we're imagining about a situation, and it's not actually what we see. So when I open this up, first we're going to talk about what exactly are you observing, and then after that we'll talk about what you can infer from this situation. So what, based on this image, do you see?
What do you say?
Yeah, come on, give it to me.
Gathering, a bunch of people that look happy.
Gathering people that happy, it might be an inference, but yes, you could certainly say they're smiling. Some of them,
They might all
united.
be.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, they're united in
they're
something.
united somehow. Yeah, they have their arms around each other.
I
The
cannot
fact that
see
they're
the.
united might be an inference, though.
Maybe they're all staring at the guy in the green shirt. I'm not quite sure if they're all staring at him or not.
They're all looking at that guy in the right-hand corner. Yeah, they are all looking toward him. Like maybe he was talking, but yeah, they're looking at him. Excellent. Yeah, somebody else said it's a diverse group of people. Okay, now let's move over to what we can infer. What are some things that you might guess are going on here? What kind of gathering do you think that is?
A united gathering,
A church gathering? That was a good guess. What was yours, Amalfi?
like a united gathering, like
They're united around something for sure. Yeah.
or maybe they're just happy because he's saying something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they're happy that he's saying something good.
It
It
feels
seems
like
like there's
they.
something to the arms around each other in a particular
Seems
way.
like they're celebrating something.
Yeah.
Like they all did something together and they're done doing it and it's over and they're kind of congratulating him because he's the main purpose of it.
Yeah, I totally agree, Michael. I think to me it looks like some team building thing that they just finished that they all had to
Yeah.
do. And that they were successful. That would be a guess of mine. Like they know each other fairly well, but maybe not super, super well. Yeah, anything else that you would infer or guess about this picture? Support group. Support group, that's a great one. Yeah, support group.
Yeah, they could be congratulating him on something.
Yeah, they are definitely like cheering each other on somehow. Great. Okay, let's try the next one. First, focus on just what we see, and then we'll talk about what we can infer. So what do we see in this picture?
Angry boss.
You might bet that might be an inference. That might be an inference.
Yelling to maybe.
Yeah, it looks like he might be yelling, for sure.
See a kitchen.
Yep, it's in a kitchen.
I see Hell's Kitchen there, not just saying.
Hell's Kitchen, yeah. What else do you see?
Her sad, like confused.
That would
Mm,
probably be an inference also, but we could say that she's looking down. She's got her eyes closed.
Just praying.
Yeah, maybe. So I see, I think, 4 people in this picture. They're wearing uniforms. Great point. They're wearing uniforms. Yeah. Excellent. Different kinds of uniforms. So people have different roles perhaps in this. Okay, now let's move to what we can infer. What do you think is going on in this picture?
She messed up an entree.
That's a good guess. Yes. It sounds like he's given her a pretty hard time about something she did in that kitchen. Maybe he's the manager. Yeah, he seems like the guy in charge if he's going to be chewing somebody out. Yeah. Eternity. Yeah. Seems like she messed up some sheppy thing. What about those different kinds of uniforms? What can we infer about the different uniforms we're seeing?
He's the chef. And she's learning.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe he's the head chef and she's learning. And Hawa says, maybe the person in the back is the server. So we've got chefs and we have servers in this picture, perhaps. Yeah.
I don't know, I see her maybe being hard on herself and maybe he's like trying to encourage her and that was just a snapshot of a moment where he might look angry, but he's not.
I totally agree. Yeah, I think it could be that just as easily, that it could be like, come on, you're fine here. It could be almost words of encouragement or just like, you've got this, you don't know. We don't know for sure. But she just might
Yeah,
be,
maybe he's telling her that it's okay.
yeah, maybe he's telling her it's okay and she's just really being hard on herself.
Maybe she's trying to go home early.
Yeah, maybe she's trying to go home early. Yeah, a lot of possibilities. Excellent. Let's try one more. What do we see? Kids. Woods, yes.
Troublemakers.
Yeah, smiles for sure. What are they doing? They're squatting. Yeah, they are squatting.
Is he holding?
I can't tell. Could be a phone. Could be.
Smiling for the picture.
Sorry, say that again, Amalfi?
Smiling for the picture.
Yeah, they're smiling for the picture. Absolutely. Yeah. So what can we infer? What do we think that this is all about? They're happy to be there. I would infer that also, that they're all happy to be there.
Someone's trying to get a great picture.
Yeah. Say that again, Michael?
Somebody's trying to get a great picture.
Yeah, somebody's trying to get a great picture. Yeah. Yeah. There's somebody there taking that picture for sure.
Like they're living in the moment and someone's saying that and to take a picture instead of just being
Just being in the moment, just kids being kids playing. Yeah, I get the impression that maybe because they look all around the same age, that it's like a summer camp or something. Or a school trip, or
Maybe they're just playing in the woods.
maybe they're just playing in the woods. Yeah. What did you say, Howell? Maybe they're on a trip. Yeah, maybe they're on a trip.
Maybe they're hiding from their moms.
Maybe they are. That tends to make kids pretty happy and excited. Being sneaky. Yeah. Okay, last one. What do we see?
A house, I
A
think.
house, absolutely.
Is it burnt?
It looks like it could be burnt
Like abandoned?
or just abandoned and kind of decrepit, dilapidating and starting to fall apart for one reason or another. What else do we see?
Leaves on the ground.
Leaves on the ground, yeah. So what can we infer? What time of year do you think it is?
Fall.
Mhm.
Halloween.
What do you think this house is all about? Life. Whew,
Just an abandoned
it's
house.
dark. Yeah, abandoned house.
Saving the line.
Yeah, nobody's really living there right now, perhaps.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not too. Could be spooky, could be something like that. All right, so you get the idea of like, we just need to separate things that we can absolutely observe versus the things that we come up with based on our life experience. Now we're gonna practice it with some paragraphs. I think I'm gonna do these a little out of order. We'll do what we can infer and then we'll go back up to conclusions. Okay. Let me hand this out. And if you want to open it up yourself, this is Inference Worksheet 1, or I'm coming back here. We are in week 6. What can you infer? But we might be able to work through it together just fine. I hope I have enough of these.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. I'll kick off reading the first one and then we'll see if anybody else wants to read. So every day after work, Paul took his muddy boots off on the steps of the front porch. Alice would have a fit if the boots made it so far as the welcome mat. He then took off dusty overalls and threw them into a plastic garbage bag. Alice left a new garbage bag tied to the porch railing for him every morning. On his way into the house, he dropped the garbage bag off at the washing machine and went straight up the stairs to the shower as he was instructed. He would eat dinner with her after he was, quote, presentable, as Alice had often said. What do you think? What type of job does Paul do?
That's construction.
Could be construction? Yeah, what else? What else could it be? Waste? Yeah.
Same.
Recycling, could be working with garbage or something like that. Yeah.
Blue collar job.
Some blue collar job. Yeah. Something where we're getting dirty. Yeah, what were the clues that let you know that?
Money boots.
Muddy boots.
The overalls.
Yeah, the overalls are dirty. Absolutely. How about what he needs to do, like the ritual for what he's doing with this stuff? Can't get to the welcome mat, put it in the garbage bag.
Over money.
Yeah, that's pretty serious. They're either very, very muddy to the point that it would like be dropping, mud throughout the house, or maybe really unpleasant smell as well. Could be that. Yeah. How about Alice? What do you think is going on with this Alice person?
She's strict.
Could be his wife, yeah? What did
She's
you
strict.
Strict, yes. Yeah. Sounds pretty strict. What makes you say that, Michael?
Because Alice would have a fit if the boots made it so far as the welcome mat. And
Absolutely, yes.
also, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like she's very organized. And maybe guiding him to be very organized as well. Yeah.
His wife is partner, sounds like he's gonna cook for him.
Yeah. Yeah. What else could it be if not a wife or partner?
Mom,
Could be mom, could be sister. Yeah. Somebody close in the house that feels comfortable giving that level of direction. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. All right. Great. Who would like to read that next one? Crack.
I can read it.
Yay. Thank you, Amalfi.
Okay. Crack. Thunder struck in the rain pour. Max started blanking out the window, trying to contain his emotions, the rage like the weather. He was beginning to lose it, dropping like a kite from his hand. Max broke out into full sobs. His mother confronted him, comfort him. Is it comfort him?
Comforted. Yep. Mhm.
There, Max. We'll just find something else to do. She began to unpack the picnic basket that was on the counter and offer him a sandwich. Max snapped, I don't wanna, I don't want a sandwich. Wow, rude. No. And flash from his kit lit up the living room. Boom, mom sign.
Ah.
Nah.
Yeah, so why is great reading? Thank you. Why is Max upset?
because he couldn't fly his kite
Yeah, why not?
because there's a thunderstorm outside.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what was his mom planning on today?
Picnic.
Yeah, have a picnic, maybe somewhere that it's great to fly a kite. We don't know exactly where. So what is she doing instead?
He
Yeah.
was sad.
Yeah, it sounds like she's already made it, perhaps. It sounds like she had a picnic basket ready to go, and now they're doing a picnic on their floor in their room.
Sounds like it could be a kid.
What's that?
Sounds like he could be a kid.
Yeah, definitely. That I don't want a Sand Mitch is probably pretty young. You're not yeah, pronouncing it right. Probably a young kid. And it would be a kid that would get really upset over missing out on something because of weather. The rest of us kind of know to not break out into sobs if it's gonna rain. Yeah, excellent. Okay, who would like to read the next one? Tommy.
I'll read it.
Thanks, Michael.
Tommy, mom called out as she walked in the front door. Tommy, she continued shouting. I sure could use some help with these groceries. There was still no reply. Mom walked into the kitchen to put the grocery bags down on the counter when she noticed shattered glass from the picture window all over the living room floor and a baseball not far from there. I'm going to kill you, Tommy, Mom yelled to herself as she realized that Tommy's shoes were gone.
Ooh, what's going on? What happened to the window?
Got shattered.
Yeah, how do you think that happened?
Tommy threw a baseball at it.
Probably the baseball through a window. Yeah, sounds like it. And so it says, why did Tommy leave? What do you think?
Scared. Mom's gonna
Cause
kill him.
Yeah, he's scared. Yeah. Yeah, keep going. How well? He realized he was in trouble or going to be in trouble. Yes, which is kind of backed up by his mom saying, at least to herself, I'm gonna kill you, Tommy.
Maybe someone broke it and then he was struggling and shattered the window and then he ran away.
Absolutely, it could be that. Yeah, we don't know. The baseball's giving it could be misleading us. Yeah, for sure. Great. Okay, who would like to read this one? Today was a special day in Miss Smith's class. Angel, you up for it? No?
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'll read it.
Okay, thanks, Michael.
Today was a special day in Mrs. Smith's class. Some of the children were walking around the room. Some of them were standing in small groups, and some of them were at their desk, putting finishing touches on cardboard mailboxes. After coloring a cool flame on the side of his race car mailbox, Johnny hopped off his chair, strutted over to Veronica's desk, and dropped a small white envelope into her Princess Castle mailbox. Veronica blushed and played with her hair. While this was happening, Bartleby
Yeah, I think it's Bartleby.
Bartleby was frantically trying to put a small white envelope into everyone's mailbox. After giving one to Miss Smith, Bartleby pulled out a medium-sized red envelope from his pocket. He blushed and tried to put it in Veronica's mailbox, but it wouldn't quite fit. Bartleby struggled with it for a few seconds and then ran off with the envelope. Veronica rolled her eyes and popped her gum.
Okay, great. Thank you. Great reading. Why do you think today is a special day?
Because it says it's a special day.
What's making it special, do you think, based on your experience?
The mailboxes. They're making
Yeah.
mailboxes.
When in school, if you've ever experienced that, yeah, do we do mailboxes? Angel says Valentine's, yeah, that's pretty common. You could make that up if you were studying like letters of the post office too. It doesn't necessarily need to be Valentine's Day. But it sounds like the fact that he's blushing and trying to put particular things in a particular person's mailbox, that there's probably some Valentine emotions attached. How about who does it seem like Veronica likes?
Johnny.
Yeah, excellent. Why? What makes you say that?
Because after you put the letter in her mailbox, Veronica blushed and played with her hair.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good. Yes. And what does she do when Bartleby gets something in there in that mailbox?
She rolled her eyes and popped her gum.
That's right. That sounds like the opposite of blushing and playing with your hair. It sounds like that is not a desirable thing for her. Yeah. So why did Bartleby run then? Yeah, he was probably
Was
embarrassed
embarrassed.
somehow. Yeah. And hurt, yes. Do we think that he saw that Veronica rolled her eyes? Probably. Yeah, probably. Ooh, Valentine's Day. Some painful moments. Children's Valentine's Days. Hearts get broken. Okay, thank you. Wonderful job. It is right now 7:15. Let's take a break until 7 and we'll come back and do the next video and activity. I am going to stop recording. Hey, welcome back. Give everybody one more minute so I don't start early. All right, welcome back. Let's talk a little bit more. Let's do the next inference activity. Let's do the next inference activity, which I have handed out. If you're here in person, it's at your desk. Okay, so we're basically doing the same thing. We're going to take a look at these paragraphs and see what we can infer based on that. I'll kick off the first one. Kyle ran into his house, slamming the door behind him. He threw his book bag on the floor and plopped onto the couch. After 6 hours of playing Grand Larceny 7, he ate some pizza and fell asleep with a slice on his stomach and his feet on his book bag. When Kyle came home from school the next day, he was noticeably distraught. He balled up his report card and placed it inside a soup can in the garage. He then flipped the soup can upside down in the garage and arranged loose pieces of trash over it. As he plopped down on the couch, he let out a sigh and picked up his controller. Why is Kyle distraught?
Bad breeze.
Probably bad report card. Yeah. What else could it be?
What's the definition of distraught?
Yeah, distraught is like you are
Disappointed?
visibly upset and worried about something.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. How about that V11 after grand larceny? Anybody familiar with that?
Number
Yeah, 7.
Yeah. So what does
Is-
the V stand for?
5.
Yeah. V equals, oh, this doesn't work. V equals 5. The I's, I'm calling them ones, but they're actually I, letter I equals 1. If it is after a letter, you add them. What do you do if it's before a letter? What if I put a 1 before the V?
That's
IV.
4.
Yeah, you subtract it. What are these called? What kind of numbering is this called? Anybody know?
Greek numbers, no?
Very close?
Roman numerals?
Roman, yeah, Roman numerals. We use it in outlines a lot. I'm not sure why people name things that like with the V. And anybody know any other ones? Any other Roman numerals, letters that
X?
numbers? Yeah,
X?
X. What's the X equal? Do you know?
I think it's 10.
Think so too. How
But
about
doesn't the I change after it's an X?
yes, if it's the I after an X would be like 11 and I before an X would be subtracting it, so that's like 9. IX would
Okay.
be 9. How about D? Anybody ever hear of D?
Has to be 100 or 50.
You're right, it's 50. C
What's a
is 100. I'm guessing for like century or cent. I don't know why the other letters are the numbers that they are, but anyway, just in case you see that again. Great. Okay. Why did Kyle put the report card inside the soup can?
Because you wanted to hide it.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty serious hiding place. Yeah, so his parents don't see it. Seems like a safer place to not be seen than putting it in the garbage. Somebody might see that. But it still exists if you are in so much trouble that you have to produce it again. Yeah. So, yeah, we've already suggested that his report card was bad. Why are they suggesting it was bad?
Because he plays video games all night and eats pizza.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to imply here. So imply is a really good word that is kind of the counterpart to infer. Anybody know why? How is imply different than infer?
Because you said it when you implied it.
Yeah, say that again, Michael.
Because you said it when you implied it.
That's exactly right. Imply is what the writer or the speaker is doing. Infer is what the reader is doing. So when you imply it, you're saying something not directly. So the author of that paragraph implied that it's video games that are making it, and then you have inferred that that's the case. So they're kind of two sides of the same coin in a way. Good. Anybody, how do you spell imply?
IMPLY?
Yep, you got it. IMPLY. Yep. Fantastic. All right, next paragraph. Who would like to read about Anastasia?
And the subject said, but about fountain apart with her head in her palms. She was weeping
Mournfully.
and her clothing was disheveled. In between gasps and sobs, Anastasia cried out a wave, "Oh, John!" And then her cell phone beeped. Her hand ran into her purse, and her heart fluttered.
Fluttered.
Fluttered. The text message was from John. He opened the message and read a few fair words. I need to get my jacket back from you, and Anastasia threw her head into her arms and continued sobbing.
Nice, thank you. Good reading. What kind of relationship do John and Anastasia have?
Not a good one anymore.
Not a good one anymore, that's right. A very broken one now, so why is Anastasia sad? Yeah, sounds like because they broke up. Sounds like she was not the one that wanted to break up, right? Yeah. Exactly. She was waiting and excited about a message from him, but it was not the kind of message she was looking for.
Maybe they're just friends.
They could be, but what's making her so upset then? What's another explanation? Yeah, that's good. It could totally be true. What's another explanation? Yeah, they could just be friends and maybe they were gonna like go on a cool trip together and it got canceled. I mean, there could be some, like, we might be misunderstanding the situation entirely. Yes, and maybe John does not have those feelings at all. Yes. Oh, life. It's cruel. Okay, who would like to read about Cassie?
I'll
I
read
know
it.
someone would. Okay, yay.
Oh, did someone else want to read it?
No, I think you're the one that wants to read it. Thank you, Michael.
Okay. Cassie rolled over in her bed as she felt the sunlight hit her face. The beams were warming the back of her neck when she slowly realized that it was Thursday, and she felt a little too good for Thursday. Struggling to open her eyes, she looked up at the clock. 9:48, she shouted. Holy cow. Cassie jumped out of bed, threw on the first outfit that she grabbed, brushed her teeth and 2 swipes, threw her book into her backpack, and then ran out the door.
Okay, excellent reading. Thank you. What kind of problem is Cassie having?
She slept in.
Yep, overslept. For sure. Where do you think she's going?
School.
Good guess. What makes you say that?
Backpack and books.
Yeah. She could be going somewhere else. She could be going
Class.
to work. She could be just, she could work at the library. Who's to say? But school is a really good guess. Yeah, she's unreliable. Yep. Those are some of the conclusions we are drawing. Cassie is unreliable. All right, last one, Kelvin. Feeling it, Gabe? You want to read about Kelvin? You're okay. Okay. How about you? Yes, you want to read about Kelvin? No. All right, I guess it's me this time. Calvin was waiting in front of the corner store at 3:56. His muscles were tense and he was sweating a bit more than usual. The other kids gathered in front of the little storefront were much more relaxed, even playful. They joked back and forth lightly to each other, but for Kelvin, time slowed. 3:57. Don't worry, Kelvin, he ain't even gonna show up. Kelvin hoped that he wouldn't. A black four-door Camry with tinted windows pulled up and parked across the street. Kelvin gulped. 3:58. A group of teenagers piled out of the car. James was in the front. Hiya, Kelvin. Glad you could make it, James said. Kelvin felt smaller. Why is Kelvin waiting at the corner store?
Kind of a tough one. It could be a couple of things.
Yeah, it could be. It definitely could. Well, it is not super clear. What's a guess?
At first, I thought he was waiting to fight him, to fight
Mhm.
James.
Yeah, I think so too. That's my first impression, but how about some other ones?
Could be like a game, basketball game or baseball game that Calvin is smaller guy and hope the other team wouldn't show up maybe or something.
That's great. Yeah, that's a fantastic guess. It could be some kind of sporting event that he's just nervous to participate in, for sure. Because that sentence, hiya, Kelvin, glad you could make it, it could be
Yeah.
genuine or it could be really
Smart
sarcastic.
adequate, yeah,
Yeah,
sarcastic.
we don't know not hearing the tone of voice, right? Great. What do you think? Do you think James and Kelvin are friends?
No.
Probably not. Probably not. You wouldn't be that nervous to see your friend and hoping that he wouldn't show up.
Maybe, sorry,
Yeah,
maybe from past experience, maybe he was using, no, that sounds dumb. but
No,
maybe
it's
he was
not.
using,
it could
he
be.
was using fake, he didn't want anybody else to show up because he was nervous that he would notice.
That's a great version.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good
yeah.
one.
It
Who
totally
said
could be
that?
that. It
And
could
that
totally
was
be
me,
that. That's
was
Angel, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good idea, Angel. That's a good one.
Angel's been in both shoes, he says, yeah. All right. So then why are some of the reasons that he's nervous about it? You've already identified that. Like, doesn't want people to show up, doesn't want people to know that he's there maybe for an exchange. What else?
Um,
Because he's small, yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
because he's small.
He's afraid that he's about to get a big booty whooping. Good guesses. Totally. Yep. He gulped. That helps really set a stage there with the gulping. Great job, everybody. You're very good at inferences. Very good. Okay, let's talk more about taking it to kind of the next step, drawing conclusions. And then we'll look at the assignment because the assignment's about inferences, but it has some challenging questions in it.
Welcome to the project video on how to support a conclusion. When you support a conclusion, this is known as making an inference. Let's take a step back to look at what an inference actually is. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines inference as a conclusion that is formed because of no facts or evidence. So we have some really important information here. We know that we cannot make an inference without having facts or textual evidence to support our conclusion. Without facts or textual evidence, all we have given is our opinion and nothing to support it. Let's take a look. One day, Kyle was playing at recess with all of his friends. Kyle noticed John, who was new to school, sitting on a bench by himself. Kyle felt bad for John because he didn't know anyone yet and seemed kind of shy. Kyle thought, I remember my first day. I was too afraid to talk to anyone and wished that someone would have invited me to play. So Kyle started walking over to the bench that John was sitting on. Based on the passage, what most likely happens next? Kyle invites John to play with him and his friends, or Kyle calls John a mean name. Now, what evidence from the text can we use to support our answer? Well, we know that Kyle felt bad for John, and that Kyle was thoughtful and remembered how he felt because his first day. Kyle even said that he wished that someone would have invited him to play. This evidence suggests that Kyle invites John to play with him and his friend, but there's no evidence that might suggest that Kyle walked over the bench to call John a mean name. Let's try another one. School had just started back after Christmas break. Rachel and Deja were sitting together in the cafeteria talking about their new outfits that they had gotten for Christmas. Look at my new brown boots. They're warm on the inside to keep my feet warm, Rachel told Deja. They're pretty. Look at my new coat that my mom got me. It's super soft on the inside, said Deja. As they continued to talk about the gifts that they had gotten, they saw Maria walk by. Rachel and Deja noticed that Maria wasn't wearing anything new, and they began to laugh. Maria knew that they were laughing at her. Maria felt bad for them because they had no idea that it didn't matter what they wore on the outside. What goes on the inside of your head and your heart is what matters most. So Maria sat down next to Rachel and Deja. I hope that you guys had a great Christmas break, Maria said with a smile. Rachel and Deja looked at Maria. They felt sorry that they had made fun of Maria. Based on the passage, what inference can we make about what happens next? Option 1, Maria calls Rachel and Deja a mean name. Or option 2, Rachel and Deja apologize for making fun of Maria. Let's look at the first option. Maria calls Rachel and Deja a mean name. Do you see any evidence in the passage that might make you think that Maria called them a mean name? No. In fact, Maria actually felt bad for them because they didn't know that it didn't matter what you looked like on the outside. Then we see that even though they were rude to her, she was still kind to them and hopefully they had a great Christmas break. So, based on the passage, we have no evidence to support option 1. Now let's take a look at option 2. Rachel and Deja apologize for making fun of Maria. Do you see any evidence in the passage that might make you think that Rachel and Deja apologize? Well, we know for sure that they have reason to apologize for making fun of her, but let's look for evidence to support the idea that they actually will. So, after Maria sat with them and hoped that they had a great Christmas break, Rachel and Deja feel sorry that they made fun of her. Now, because the passage said that they felt sorry, we can make the inference that they may have also apologized due to their feeling sorry about their mean actions. You guys did such a great job. Keep practicing. And as you practice, be very sure not to conclude anything that the author of the passage suggests. I hope this video has been helpful. And be sure to check out our other videos for more help. See you next time.
Okay. So that's a really good example of how important it is when we have those multiple choices about drawing conclusions or just about anything, that we take them back to the passage that we're reading and make sure that there is some evidence or we have some reason why we're choosing that. Okay. This class will be even shorter than I imagined. Okay. For the inference assignment, we are returning to a bit from Frankenstein. And so if you are submitting this online, you will open up this link and I will pass this out to everybody. So we've got another passage from Frankenstein and then front and back questions about different things that we might be able to infer based on this passage. So this is talking about Dr. Frankenstein's brother's death and how the monster is coming and appearing to him.
What is homework?
This is the homework. So you're going to read this passage carefully. We have more than enough time for you to finish this up right here and now. If you choose to do that, that would be great. You could just hand it right back to me. If you are doing it online, you'll notice that each space there is an opportunity for you to type your answer into the text box. And that's it. Whenever you're finished, that is it for today.